So we find fossils anywhere where the geologic formations where those animals lived is exposed. So think of layers of geology on the earth like layers of the book. So in order to read a certain chapter, we have to go to where those pages are exposed. And those pages are exposed in places like Badlands. So if you go to Petroglyph National Monument, or not Petroglyph, if you go to Petrified Forest National Park in Arizona, or if you go to Teddy Roosevelt National Park in North Dakota, or Badlands National Park in South Dakota, or in even some parts of Yellowstone National Park, you'll see these areas of land that don't have anything growing on it. They're just kind of dead, and it's beautiful, just layers of earth that are exposed. And these are more than just pretty layers of rock or layers of dirt. They're actually remains of different biomes and environments that have been preserved over time. So what paleontologists do is we'll identify how old those areas are, and we'll identify them as a formation, a geologic formation. Then we'll look at the different layers within the formation and identify those as members. And once we're able to identify the geologic formation and the fossil-bearing members within that geologic formation, then we can hike around the wilderness and actually look for different layers that may tell me that oh, there was a pond, or oh, this was a low energy depositional environment like a river channel or stuff. Something like that would be very good for preserving articulated associated sites, which is what paleontologists are looking for, is a skeleton, not necessarily just a bone. So we'll go to one of these areas and I'll see a bone eroding down from the hill, and then I'll chase it up to the altitude where that bone is eroding out. I'll dig around and I'll determine the altitude. I'll mark the altitude on my notes. And if I find more fossils within 3 feet of anywhere where that exposed bone is, then I'll continue to excavate and 3 feet around each new bone that I find in that little quarry until I have a dinosaur quarry. Now, most of the time you'll find one bone, or maybe you'll find 3 bones, but every now and then you'll get lucky and you'll find a skeleton. And that is when things really get exciting. So that's one of the ways that paleontologists find fossils. It's a lot of hiking. It's a lot of looking at the ground, picking up rocks. We'll lick rocks and bones all the time. If your tongue's to it, it's a bone, because bones are porous. If your tongue doesn't stick to it, then it's likely a naturally occurring rock or petrified wood, because petrified wood is not porous. It's funny. That's really the extent of our methods, when it comes to actually finding this material. It's really background research and knowing where to look. Other ways that we find stuff is construction monitoring. That's when you build something and you have to dig. So sometimes you'll be building a skyscraper, like in Denver, around northern Denver, or you'll be building the Denver airport and you come across a dinosaur bone bed. These things can happen. That they did happen. In fact, under one of the parking garages, I have it on good authority that there is a massive bone bed.
Oh, wow.
I'm supposed to tell y'all, but I'm a paid internship. So that's what they get.